So let's leave this and we'll go back to our presentation here. I think it's more fun to see the stuff in motion than it is static. So let's go to now the next slide. Tommy Jones, 116 degrees of shoulder tilt in the start. Measured here, there's the 16. Again, the hand under the ball is supporting a lot of the weight. I'd like to see about 80% of the weight of the ball in the left hand if you're a right-hander. So if you're not doing that already, I would encourage you to do that.
I tend to leave it in my hand.
Yeah.
And support pretty much all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And just put my other hand on the ball for
Yeah,
steady.
for steadiness, right. A lot of people do that. I like to see it like these guys have it, that they have it under there. They have some weight. When I showed you that first slide, see right there, the hand is well under the ball. They're really
Especially
supporting.
Chris, 'cause he's got his hand on the side of the ball.
Yes, yes.
Versus underneath.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I suggest that, again, his feet are parallel to the intended line of play. The ball is under his bowling eye and under his chin. It doesn't go outside the shoulder. If I was standing behind him, I could not see the bowling ball. That's one of the hallmarks in Mark Baker's book, The Game Changer. He says that when he looks at bowlers, when he gets behind them, he doesn't want to see the ball. He wants the body to be hiding the ball, not for it to be outside that body plane. Yes, yes. And you don't want the ball to hang out here because that's the first way that it goes behind your back when you hang the ball outside your shoulder line. Okay? So you start with your feet, your slide foot at least, and I encourage you to have both feet parallel to the intended target line or the intended line of play or ball path, however you want to say it. Set your head over the ball with your eye over the bowling ball and the chin over the ball. Set your hips tucked back like you're going to sit down on a stool or make an athletic move. And this is a sport, so you should look like an athlete when you're ready to bowl. And the last thing is have the ball close to your body or your belly. The more it gets away from your body, the heavier it becomes, the more stress it requires on your hand, and also engages your lower back muscles too. And you want your body to be relaxed and comfortable rather than all tensed up when you are starting off. So these four things, set your feet, set your head, set your hips, set the ball, are the things you should do every single time you step up in the approach. Okay, as simple as they may sound, as basic as they may be, this is where the shot is created, in my opinion. It's created right here. It's not created during your approach. It's not created at the finish line. It's set and modified and actually born right here. So if you do the right things in the start, you will have a good finish and a good shot. If you get neglectful here, you'll have a neglectful series of shots. Okay?
Plays through.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't concentrate, you don't set.
Yeah.
You just go.
The best analogy I had was a guy I coached about a year ago who came here, pretty good bowler, but not a competitive tour player or anything like you. And he was going through these things for the first time, pretty much. And I was watching him, and wow, he's really doing great. I'd have to coach him or remind him he was going through the checklist really well. And I said to him, yeah, you're doing super on this. You really got this. I can almost see what you're thinking by just watching you. You know, I can almost know what your mind is going through. Yeah, and he says, well, I do this for a living. And I said, what? He said, yeah, I'm an airline pilot. I can't take off without my checklist. It's against federal law. I thought, what a great analogy for bowling. You shouldn't take off on your approach until you've done your checklist. So, yeah, he taught me a lesson that day. I was thankful he did his checklist too, because I fly sometimes. So don't take off on your approach without doing your checklist. Feet, head, hips, and ball. You see Bill O'Neill here, one of the top players in the tour. He's got that shoulder tilt we talked about. And that blue shaded area that you see here is the space created just by the shoulder tilt alone. He creates some space right there. And he steps over just like we saw Chris. And as well, here's Chris statically doing it, along with Jason Couch, who does the same thing as a lefty. And so does Bill O'Neill. He does it right there, you see. He stepped over. So he goes from here to there, stepping one foot in front of the other. And you see just with that one step over, the extra space that's been created right here, additional to the blue shaded area from the shoulder tilt space. So the shoulder tilt and the step over create space so the ball does not have to swing around the body. That's the key here. It can go straight back and straight forward and be on line. If it goes around the body, I've got one moment in time to release it and hit the target. If I have a straight swing, I can release it anywhere. It may not be a great release, but it's going to go down the target line, you know, and have a chance to strike. Here it is without the body, and this foot here is pointed in the wrong direction. You see how it's pointing out to the next lane over here? It should be pointed in this arrow's direction here, but it's step, straight, step over in front on number 2, step straight, and then step in front on number 4, and then slide back to center. So step, step over, slide in front. That's for a 5-step delivery, which is what you do. That's just another way of seeing it.
And that's a drift of about 2-3 boards.
Yeah, maybe even a little more. Depends on how much you step over. There's no absolute right or wrong answer there, but yes, it's just not walking straight to the foul line for sure. So when people say you're drifting, you're not walking straight, and they say you need to get going straight to the foul line, they're absolutely wrong. None of the top players walk straight to the foul line. Kelly Kulick, Norm Duke, even Walter Ray does the step over. Now, Norm and Walter do it in one big step over. They don't do two. They just do one giant where they cross over even beyond their foot. And then they're straight after that. But they step over, and nonetheless. Yeah, take 20. He go 20 boards of drift, yes. So yeah, there's variety, but they all essentially do it because they're creating space for the straight swing. So I don't see there's any exceptions on the tour. If you are walking to the right into your swing, you're going to be in big trouble. Yeah. So with your students back home, you don't want them walking straight, and you certainly don't want them walking right if they're right-handed. You want them walking a little bit away from their swing so they create space for a swing. Okay.